Hi, this is Andy and welcome to another YouPatch video tutorial. Today I want to show you how to make a fantastic pixel quilt design that looks great but isn't ridiculously complicated. So here we have a sweet little apple that we're going to work with today, and it's set to the default settings when you log into YouPatch, which is medium level of detail and 15 colours. Now I know a lot of you are keen for a really realistic quilt pattern, so we're setting to a high level of detail and leaving it 15 colours. And have a look, just to create an apple quilt we've got 904 pieces in our quilt pattern, and I'm sure there are plenty of you who would like to reduce that number of pieces while maintaining a fantastic look of the quilt. And here's how we're going to try and do that. Let's start by trying to reduce the number of colours down to say 7. Now I'm not terribly happy with that. We've lost the green in our leaf and the apple's lost some of its depth, I think. So I think just simply reducing the number of colours here isn't really going to do the trick. So let me show you the trick that I use when I'm designing my pixel quilt patterns. Let's go to Recolor and have a look at the 15 colours that's been chosen by the YouPatch software. Now, the first thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these colours are quite similar to each other. We've got white and we've got snow, and those colours are incredibly similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the snow, go to my neutrals page where I know white lives, and change it to white. So that makes no difference here, but let's go back to the Pixelate page. Remember, we had just over 900 pieces. We've already dropped down to 848 pieces simply by doing that little step. Back to the Recolor page, and again I'll remove my little pixel dots, and let's try merging some more colours. What about brick and wine? They're quite similar. Let's try changing brick and hitting wine, and actually to my eye it hardly changes the look of the quilt pattern at all. And again I've dropped the number of pieces. Let's have another look down here and have a look at, we've got rich red and Chinese red. Let's see what happens if we try and merge those two. Let's change the rich red into a Chinese red. And again, I'm still really happy with this pattern. Let's keep going. Let's try smoke and ash. Let's turn the ash into smoke. Now I did notice a little bit of a change here, but you know what? I'm still happy with the way this looks, and I'm even going to try changing my shadow to smoke and see what it does to the pattern. Now I've got to say I'm still happy with this, so I'm going to leave that as is. Now we have sienna and deep rose here, and I'm going to see what happens if I merge those two colours. Let's change the sienna to the deep rose. I hit my pinks and purples and I find my deep rose. There you are. And again, yep, still happy with the look of this. And we've dropped down significantly the number of colours, but without losing the shape of that apple and the gorgeous colour I want to have in there. Now let's have a look at merging our two greens, peridot and grass green. Let's change the peridot to, over here at the greens, let's try grass green. And you know what? I'm not happy with that merge because I think it makes my leaf look really flat, and that's not what I'm after, so I'm going to delete that and stick with the two greens there. You know what? I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go back to the Pixelate page and see how many pieces we've got down to now. Oh, we're down to 700 pieces. Simply by merging those matching colours, we have dropped down from over 900 pieces to around 700 pieces. We're doing really well. Okay, so now let's go to the Edit Pixels page. We've dropped from 15 colours to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colours. But there's some editing I'd like to do here to drop the number of cut pieces in my pattern even further. Now, you'll notice here I've got some little, what I like to call orphan pixels. They're all by themselves. And if you think about it, when you're trying to put together a quilt block that have these little orphan pieces, it's going to require a lot of cutting and piecing to create that shape. And I don't think they really add to the pattern so much. So what I'm going to do, I'm pretty sure that's my wine colour, and I'm going to plop, plop, just click on those little orphan pixels and get rid of those. I'm going to turn off my show pixel edits and keep clicking away so that I can remove those little orphan blocks. There we go. And again, I'm still happy with the way the apple looks, but I'm starting to simplify my pattern. I notice around the edges I've got some light greys poking out around these edges. I'm going to try and tidy those up. I notice that they're often next to a mushroom, so let's turn them into a mushroom over here, just to simplify our pattern over here. Now I'm going to keep working on simplifying this apple, and I will be back in the flash of an eye so that you can see what I've achieved with my pixel edits. Okay, and there you have a much cleaner looking quilt pattern. I've kept some of the little orphan pixels over here because I think it does give a bit of depth to the shape of that leaf, but I think overall I think it's a good looking apple. I can see the shape and the roundness of it. I can see the highlights up here and the highlights down here and a little bit of the shadow. I'm happy with the depth of colour in the leaf, but by doing this cleaning up, reducing the number of colours and then reducing some of those orphan pixels, let's have a look at how I've managed to reduce the number of cuts. Okay, we're down to 602 pieces. Now, if you remember, we were up around 900 when we started. So we've managed to reduce the number of pieces in this quilt pattern by 1/3. So now I'm going to go ahead and order this pattern and get cracking on ordering some fabric and stitch it up. I hope you find that useful. Please get in touch if you have any more questions or if you'd like to ask more information about our pixel quilt patterns. But until then, we really look forward to seeing what you make in YouPatch. Take care. Bye-bye.